Quitting substances such as nicotine, THC, energy drinks, or adult media content is hard. In fact, I would argue that quitting any addiction is a major challenge. And it's challenging like running a marathon, not challenging like running a race. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. If you're new to the channel, my name's Dr. Frank. I'm the founder of Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching Programs, which are dedicated to helping people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content, addictions I once struggled with. You can check the video description or the pinned comment for more information about working with our offices or receiving more free content. Okay, so quitting smoking weed or quitting vaping or quitting chewing tobacco, whatever, it's hard for a lot of people. And I know for me in particularly, after struggling for about 9 years of active addiction, when I finally made that decision to quit, I found it to be challenging. And I say challenging like running a marathon, not because of the idea of your training and we're going to take this day by day, one day at a time. The goal is just to get to the end. I say it's similar to running a marathon because running a marathon is a challenging process for people. They typically have to train leading up to it. The marathon itself usually results in quite a bit of discomfort and pain, both physically and mentally. But if you've ever spoke to someone who runs that first marathon and goes through all that pain of training, the shin splints, the back pain, the muscle aches, the dehydration that they might run into, all the effort that they put into it, or someone who's done a triathlon, there seems to be pleasure somewhere on the other side. They say, you know what? I did something that I didn't think I was capable of. And now I'm ready to take on that next challenge. And I think it's very often when you look at success stories of people across the board who have done well in their life, not only financially, but maybe in a category of faith or in a category of relationships, just someone who you would look at and say that person's doing well all around. You can usually find some type of challenge or adverse event that they faced or that they put themselves in. And when they got through that challenge, when they got through that hardship, there seems to be pleasure on the other side. And what I would argue is when you go at challenges in life, when you do things that are hard, things that bring you out of your comfort zone, it actually makes life a lot easier. It allows you to thrive because the tools that you develop to get through something that's hard, like quitting vaping, quitting smoking weed, quitting watching porn, quitting drinking alcohol, the tools that you develop throughout that sobriety process, saying no day in and day out, exercising that level of discipline day in and day out, you can use those tools in different categories of your life that one are going to make your life easier and two that are going to allow you to thrive. Because the more comfortable you become facing challenges, whether it's within your business, whether it's within your relationships, whether it's within your health, mentally or physically, the more accustomed you become to facing those challenges, the easier life is going to become for you. So by doing something hard, quitting smoking weed, quitting vaping, quitting watching porn, you're actually going to make your life a lot easier. Not only because of the skill sets that you develop, like I was just talking about, but also because you're removing something from your life that's potentially very toxic and extremely damaging, right? There's nothing about active addiction that makes our life easier. Spending money on the drug, having to hide the drug from family members or coworkers, right? Some of the guilt and the shame that we may have associated with it, if it's especially adult media content related, or even cannabis or nicotine, there's still a lot of guilt and shame there for people. Addiction makes our lives significantly more challenging. So when you look at the challenge of quitting the substance or continuing to use it, I have to ask you, which hardship would you rather face? Which hardship do you think is going to bring you more out of your comfort zone and give you tools and help you develop skills that you can apply later on in life to different situations that's going to allow you to thrive. Which hardship would you rather face? Because they're both hard. Staying addicted to a drug is hard, and quitting a drug is hard. But in my opinion, one of those is the clear winner. One of those hardships is going to give you success at the end of the day, or at least a feeling of success, which then can lead to feelings of confidence and feelings of, well, feeling good, quite frankly. It's interesting too, when I talk about running a marathon. I've recently picked up the book Dopamine Nation by Dr. Anna Lemke, and she is kind of like the guru of dopamine and addiction right now. Her stuff is hot, it's trending. I put the book link in the video description in the pinned comment. And she talks about dopamine, and she says, when we actually lean into pain, there's a reward on the other side of pain, and that reward is somewhat pleasurable. And what I'm starting to think or realize is when someone runs a marathon and goes through that physical pain and that physical test of endurance, it's very similar to quitting a drug. They're actually leaning into pain, which, according to Dr. Anna Lemke, afterwards, your brain is going to try and rebalance that pain by turning up the feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. And I think the exact same thing happens in the pain that we feel when we're quitting a drug or quitting a substance. Now, on the flip side of that, she describes when we lean into pleasure, so consuming more and more of a drug, watching more and more pornography, our brain tries to rebalance that pleasure by creating a significant amount of pain. And that pain is the come down that we feel when we consume drugs. So Dr. Lemke says you fix this by leaning into pleasure or by fasting from dopamine, which, guys, I'm going to be talking about this in more detail in a live session in our Addiction Mindset community. This is a private community that involves one-on-one coaching, not group coaching, I'm sorry, not one-on-one. Sometimes we do one-on-one in there. That you can join. It's $4.97 a month, and you can find the link to join that in the pinned comment below. We're going to be going into this and a lot more fun stuff, celebrating people's wins and helping people overcome the challenges when it comes to quitting nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content. So why don't you guys check out the pinned comment, pick up a copy of that book, join the community, book a one-on-one call, or just hop right into the next video with me for some more motivation to quit smoking weed. I'll see you there.